Hola a todo el mundo. Hello to everyone.
Hi, Ilya. Ilya, I'd be curious to know if you feel like you have gotten under Max Holloway's skin in the lead up to this fight.
I never thought about that, to be honest, and I don't care. I will be in his skin on this Saturday, that's for sure.
You know, he's saying that he was here earlier today and he feels that, you know, about this whole finger-pointing story, that you haven't earned that moment with him yet and you're just a copycat of Conor McGregor.
I never asked him if I deserve that or not. I will be pointing to the ground since the first second of the fight. If he wants to stay with me in the middle, it's okay, and prove that he's the real BMF. And if he decides to don't do that, it's okay too. I'm gonna find a different way to finish him and take his head off.
I've noticed that in the lead up to this fight, you've had a BMF belt, but it's not here today. Did you bring it with you to Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, I have it with me.
Did you decide that you deserve to be the BMF belt because he wasn't defending it against you, or why did you purchase that?
For me personally, the opinion I have is that that belt was created for and because of George Masvidal. Beside of him, no one is a BMF. But if someone has to have it, I prefer to have it.
Do you believe that your chances of winning this fight go up if it's about finishing him, or if it goes the distance, can you match with him for the whole 5 rounds and match his pace?
Of course, I'm ready, not for 5 rounds to be honest. I'm ready for 10 or 15 rounds, whatever he wants to do, I can do it. But I don't think that the fight will go to the distance. I will finish him before that.
If you knock out Alex Volkanovski and Max Holloway in 1 year, does that make you the best fighter this year?
I don't know who takes that decision, but if they think that I'm the best fighter, I will be very grateful with that. If not, Alex is a great fighter too. He deserves to be the best fighter.
You know?
Right here. You've used the phrase that you're the new era of mixed martial arts quite often. Max, I asked Max about that, and he said, you know, you don't really do anything different. You punch, you kick, you wrestle, you do everything everyone else has done. So I guess, what exactly do you mean by saying that you are the new era of MMA?
The way I applicate the techniques and the skills to my opponent, the way I move my head, the way I dominate the octagon, that's the difference. What evolution do you see in Max Holloway in every fight? Maybe only in striking, but you don't see him getting better in wrestling or in the ground. You don't see him trying new things, only in the striking. And this is what I'm talking about. I try to evolve the game all the time, not only in the striking, with the wrestling, with the ground game, with everything.
And to kind of go off of that, you know, everyone talks about Max Holloway's boxing, and he's the best boxer in the UFC and this. But, you know, he broke Justin Gaethje's nose right away with that spinning back kick. He hurt Anthony Pettis with the same kick. Do you think people are focused so much on his boxing that maybe they don't see everything else well that he does?
In reality, he's a good striker. It's not only a boxer, because calling himself best boxer in the UFC is kind of shame, I think, because he's not the best boxer in the UFC. But he's a good striker. He has a lot of experience. He's very patient inside the octagon. But everyone is good when they can develop their style inside the octagon, and someone is not putting the pressure on him. So on Saturday night, he's going to feel something that he never felt with any other opponents that he had in the past. The pressure he's going to feel with me, it's going to be completely different.
So would you say you're the best boxer in the UFC?
I don't like to take credits from anyone in the UFC, because we have a lot of great fighters. And let's the people to decide that, right? Let's the people to call you the best boxer in the UFC.
And last one for me, Diego Lopez is weighing in as the backup. You know, you said respectful things about him. He said respectful things about you. Have you run into him at all in the hotel?
No, I didn't see him, but he seems to be a good guy.
Ilya, Marjun, tu შეიძლება. Marjun. Quick words in Georgian, sorry, არაბად აუზგისრობ. და როგორც სპორტის გულშემატკივრს, რომელიც პირველ დღიდან გიყურებს, ძალიან მიხარია და სიამაყით ბავშვებს, რომ შენ კუთვნილ ადგილას ხარ UFC-ს ქამრით. Now, back to my question. You defeated one of the greatest featherweights in history, Alex Volkanovski. Now you're fighting Max Holloway, another one of the greatest featherweights. If you defeat him, do you feel like there is no more challenge left for you at featherweight, and perhaps you want to fight Islam Makhachev next? What's it for you?
Before I used to make more predictions about that, and I want to fight this one or that, but at the end of the day, I want to do my job, which is to show up and fight, and we'll see what the UFC wants me to do. If they call me and they want me to move up to the lightweight division, I will be okay with that, to move up and be the first one to submit Islam. And if they want me to keep defending that belt in the featherweight division, I will be okay with that too. So let's leave that decision to the UFC.
Your friend, Merab, became the second Georgian to hold the UFC belt in less than a year. What is the feeling? How did you feel? Like, how are you feeling about that, and how happy were you when you see him?
I'm very happy. I had the pleasure to know Merab personally. He's an amazing human being, and he deserves that. He deserves to be and hold that UFC title.
Last one for me. Where do you feel should your next fight be? You mentioned Spain, Santiago Bernabeu. Is that where you want to defend your title next?
Oh yeah, for sure. It has to be in Madrid.
Thank you. Madloba.
A lot of fighters are reluctant to speak out about their goals, what they want to do in these fights, and you've said it all. You want to be 3-division champion, you're going to knock out Max in the first round, all these things. Where does that confidence come from, and why are you not maybe as reluctant as some other fighters to speak about what you feel is going to happen?
They ask me what I want to achieve in the UFC and what was my if I could like dream big. So my answer was I want to become a UFC 3 weight class world champion. And what makes me be so confident? The hard work I'm putting in, and to know what I'm able to do inside that octagon.
Alexander Volkanovski, I know you had an interaction with him yesterday. Does that kind of go how you thought it would be? You guys were respectful, you'd shake hands?
I always respect Volk, always. Before the fight, after the fight, there was nothing personal. I was only fighting for my dreams. And this is the same thing what's happening this Saturday with Max. I have all the respect for him. He's a great fighter. He has achieved many great things in the sport. You can't take the credit from him. So I have learned many things from him. He called me a fan. Yeah, I followed his career. I've been a fan. How can you not be a fan of Max Holloway, right? So he's been a great example for me, but now it's my time to be that example for the new generation.
Yeah, and I spoke to Volk last night, and he said in his perfect world, you would win this fight and fight him in Australia at UFC 312. But he said he wasn't so sure you would do that, so he wants Max to win because he thinks he would be more willing to fight in Australia. What do you think of that?
Listen, if that makes him feel happy, that thinking that maybe I would go to Australia, that's okay. But in myself, that's never going to happen. I'm the champion, and if you want to fight for the title again, it has to be in Madrid instead of fighting in Australia in front of you people. Why I would give you that advantage?
For sure. Thank you.
Magra chera gora.
არამშეს. გუშინ ქართულად ვისაუბრეთ, დღეს ინგლისურად გითხავ. You are fighting in Abu Dhabi. It's too close to the Spain, too close to the Georgia, and the fans from Georgia and Spain will be here cheer for you for the whole time. What it means for you to fight in front of your people from Georgia and Spain?
Well, it means a lot to be honest. I'm very used to fight in the enemy's territory. This is the first time that I feel that maybe I'm not in my territory, but we are in a neutral territory, which is amazing. A lot of Georgians and Spanish people will be able to come and support me, and they are doing that, and I feel very grateful with that fact, and very happy to be able to shine in front of all my people.
And also to speak about, you mentioned the enemy's territory. This looks like a little bit enemy's territory because of the last couple of weeks you spoke with Islam and all the fighters from Dagestan who likes to fight here. Is it like a little bit of pressure or it's a bit motivation for you to fight in front of them there?
Not at all. No, man. This is not their territory. They are not from here, they are Russians. So I don't feel any pressure because of that.
And also to say, the Merab you mentioned, you are so happy for Merab. Can you tell people how hard is it to fight and for your dreams from such a country like Georgia, which struggled many times in the last couple of 30 years?
It's very hard. It's very hard, but it's not impossible. Everything is possible in this life. It doesn't matter where you come from. If you know where you're going, right? You have to have that positive mentality always. Because I always used to say like this: both fear and faith demand you to believe in something that you never saw, and you have to choose to believe in what you want to believe. I always choose to believe in things that make me feel happy.
Ilja,
And the one else for
Palestina?
me, please. And, érted a slot. You say that you were Max Holloway fan when you were young and watching him while growing up and becoming the professional fighter. What kind of difference you see from Max, for example, 5-6 years ago and Max today?
That's the thing. I don't see any difference. He's the same Max Holloway that we have seen